one of the things that, well, at the studios, the Key West, particularly here on the performance end, is we try to present works that are either new or that are reinvented, et cetera. And you were in one of the most incredible productions of a reinvention. It was the play called I Remember Mama.
Oh yeah.
And Michelle, I know you've got a photo or some photos from I Remember Mama, which
Yeah,
was put up by the Transport Group, right?
right.
There you are with the pipe in your mouth, right? And then again in the pipe.
Yeah, so I played Papa in I Remember Mama.
Right, right. And other characters as well, beside Papa? I mean, other characters are mostly Papa.
Yes, no, three characters altogether, all young. Well, there was Papa, and then there was. Hang on, I've got my little book here to consult.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, what's amazing about that is that Jack Cummins, who directed that, basically, you know, he hired 10 women to play
10 women and
25 roles.
All over 65. In fact, Heather McRae and I were both 65, and we were the babies in the group. Was Barbara Andres played Mama, Barbara Barry, the wonderful Barbara Barry, and the wonderful Barbara Andres. Barbara Barry played Katrin, who is the writer who actually the story was being told by. Yeah. Alice Cannon, Lynn Cohen, who we just lost very recently. Rita Gardner, the original young girl from the Fantastics.
Yeah.
Yes. Susan Lehman, Heather McRae, Phyllis Somerville, who we recently lost. Yeah. Louise Sorrell and myself. I played Papa, Dr. Johnson, and Arne, who was a boy in the hospital. Yeah.
And this was a site-specific production, right? I mean, that wasn't in the theater. It was.
Well, it was at Judson Memorial Church, where Al Carmine's used to work. You know, it is a big open space.
Right.
And it had 10. Sorry, it had 10 big dining room tables all around the periphery of the room. And each one of them would have glassware, and one of them would have silver, and one of them would have sort of crocheting and yeah.
Right, very inventive. Well, I know that the Transport Group is known for doing this sort of. First of all, I think it's incredible that, you know, here are these distinguished actors over the age of 65 that have been hired to do what I remember Mama being one of the longest running plays, you know, on Broadway, you know, for years.
Originally, yeah.
Original one, sure. But I know that they also did a production of The Boys in the Band, which actually took place in an apartment. And
yes, sadly, I didn't see that.
Right, but you were involved with the original production of The Boys in the Band.
I was.
How were you involved with that production?
But I'll tell you, but before we go on, I just want to say that with regard to I Remember Mama, it was unbelievably surprising to all of us, a huge success. There were lines around the church for blocks and blocks. John Guare came to see it 3 times and brought his wife. You know, it was just like people, Meryl Streep came to see, you know, it was just a huge success. We just stood up and became different people. No fuss, no muss.
That's the truth.
No, it was beautifully reviewed. It would have gone on, but we could not find another place to house it. And that it's one, you know, there's so many different things why something doesn't continue. So yes, Boys in the Band. I was the electrician on the original production, and I loved those guys so much. I only need to mention them and I get choked up. They were so kind and so I remember sitting in Leonard Fry's dressing room nightly and, you know, talking to him as he, you know, applied his pockmarks
Mm.
You know, they were just the kindest people. Kenny Nelson, the original Michael, was also the original boy in the Fantastics.
Wow. So that
You
must
know,
have been some,
it was
yeah, some,
it,
would
it
that,
was a
yeah,
it was a great company of guys. I worked in the box office in the day. And if I'd been smarter, I could have made a lot of money. You know, the ticket agencies were still operating in those days, and
sure.
they'd send somebody over with a bag, and they called it ice. I didn't know what ice was, but that was extra money.
Oh,
Um,
I think so. I guess so.
you know, I mean, listen, that was the hottest ticket in town. There was a night when the great Nureyev and Fontaine came to see the show, and there weren't enough seats, and she sat on his lap.
Well, she probably wouldn't have been that thin anyway,
Right? Marlena
but
Dietrich came
yeah.
and came backstage, you know, and it took us by sixes out in her limousine and drove around the blocks because we had drinks in the limousine because she didn't really want to go out anywhere, but she wanted to spend time with everyone involved with it, not just the company. It was a very tight knit group of people. It was
It
lovely.
was a revolutionary, play for a revolutionary time to do that. No, I'm going to kick you out now. You know why? Because you've actually set me up for what I wanted to finish up with Dale for,
You got it.
um,
Love you, Gail.
which I hadn't even planned on doing.
Well, I
But
didn't
I
even
thank
get
you
to the
so much for
interesting part.
having two plants on both sides because you've kept our theme and you've kept it intact.
I-
We appreciate it. You take care, Dale. So I asked Michelle to put together two photos. Michelle, they're the ones of the one from Hair and the one from Orange is the New Black. And this is from, yeah, I thought this would be a really great way to end a conversation with you. Here you are starting on the left, all right, in the original, production of Hair. And there you are, right, in the front. You're the third from the left, right?
Uh,
The black and
yeah,
white,
oh
yeah.
yes, in Hair, you mean?
In Hair, right, as Jeannie, right?
Yes, I am the third from the left. That's Jeannie, and that's my Claudio, Alan Nichols.
And that's the tribe, right? That's the
And
tribe
that's the
from Hair.
tribe.
And then
Yeah.
on the right here are the SAG Awards, and let's find you.
I am sitting down in the striped satinish
Oh, there you are,
jacket
right, okay, right.
with my big mouth open.
But I think what's fascinating to me is this is another tribe. Like and both of these tribes both dealt with issues that had truly sociocultural and sociopolitical implications for their time, right? I mean, Hair being an anti-war musical in 1968, and
Yes.
Orange is the New Black taking on a kind of first of all, it was one of Netflix's, if not the first, huge success. But then taking on the whole idea of prison reform and telling the stories of people, not only the people who were the inmates, but the people who were running the prison and the guards
Yes.
as well.
Yes, absolutely. It did
They're part
not
of the tribe.
it did not villainize
Yeah.
I think that's a very important point, or I feel it's a very important point, about Orange is the New Black, which that uh the people running the prison were as much differently, but as much at the mercy of the system as the inmates.
Right.
They weren't always portrayed as, the bad guy.
Sure.
They were certainly more in power. There's no question about that. I am very proud of what you're pointing out. And although I know pride goeth before a fall, um, it was one of the things when I first saw Hair that made me want to be in it so much. I saw it at the Cheetah, which was between the Public Theater's production and the Broadway production.
Right, the middle.
It
Right.
played at the Cheetah nightclub for a very short period of time, and I got to see it there. I was still running lights on Boys in the Band at that time. And auditioning and studying. And I saw this and I said, I am going to be in this. I want to be in this. It's talking about so many political and personal and professional aspects of the way that I feel and my generation.